What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Jupiter in Taurus. That's pretty cool. It's always cool when you get the outer planets moving into a new sign. Jupiter's like inner outer planet, but still every year, right? So it's going to be here. Just came in, what is it, the 16th of May, and it's going to be in Taurus until May 26th of 2024. So, 12 months about for Jupiter. Sometimes it retrogrades back and forth over an Ingress cusp, house cusp, sign cusp, but nonetheless, 12 months of Jupiter and Taurus. So, hey, it's exciting. I'm going to go through the houses here for all 12 signs and like show you where Jupiter's going to be at in your chart if you don't already know, and hopefully you're ready. So, Jupiter and Taurus, just in general, right? It deals, of course, with our self worth, our values, deals with money, right? Money. So, normally, right, if you get like Jupiter going through your second house, which is like collective Taurus energy, if you will, for all of us, it's usually a time of like filling up the gas tank with value, whether it's monetary value, whether it's confidence. It's like filling up the tank for the next 12 months. It's like that one stop at the gas station, and the next gas station's like 300 plus miles away. So you better top off the tank, right? So we're all kind of getting ready to top off the tank. Hopefully, this is where we can slow and steady keep, building up the belief in ourselves, confidence, but also monetary. Like keep going, keep acquiring what is value to you. And at the same token, just as like quickly as Jupiter can kind of bring something in, this could also be where, overindulgence, Jupiter's an amplifier. So not only, of course, is it our beliefs, wisdom, our intuitive mind, not so much our, left, side of the brain, Mercury, but the other side. It's a lot of things, but it's also indulgence. It can be over, too much. Jupiter can be too much at times. So there's also an element where we got to be careful and not overdo it. We don't want to, consume too much at the same time. We want to be acquiring. And, Taurus deals with food also, the senses of life, taste, touch, smell, sight even, but definitely taste, touch, smell. So we don't want to like overdo it either. We got to be a little careful. We're trying to, I use this lightly, but in essence, it's hoard. Jupiter, like a keep acquiring what's good in life and like, save up. This is great. Great energy for saving, might not seem like it. Could want to, put it out. It's just as fast as you get it. But however that, might go. So we'll jump through the signs. I appreciate everybody for hopping in, checking this out. I will timestamp each sign when it's posted, and I know what the times are because this is live and I don't have any idea. So, all right. Jump in and we'll start with Aries. So, Aries rising, Aries sun. You can use this for your sun or your rising. Doesn't really matter. It does a little bit, and I'll tell you like when we get to Taurus, especially, why I think the rising sign plays a little bit different role than the sun sign, and I'll tell you that from my own experience. Okay. Aries. Here we are. Jupiter in your second house. Taurus. This is how can you get more good stuff? How can you keep what's really good, especially with the North Node there where it's going to meet? What do you want? What feels good? How do you amplify to your confidence? So it's the confidence to build. Like Jupiter in the second's like master builder. You know what I'm saying? Like Jupiter in the second, especially for you, this master builder stuff. Like you want to take on as much as you can, but you don't want to over, acquire at the same time, especially if it's junk, right? So this is like a good time to pay attention to what's really good in life, to know what you want, and to keep acquiring, keep acquiring, keep acquiring, keep acquiring. Just in terms of like what you can build as a master builder, Aries, it's important that you really amplify the ability to know that you can build something. Just the confidence to just say, yeah, I want this, and to slow and steady win the race, and to get there, and to build and build and build and build. Now, for you, this is going to deal heavily with money. Dollar bill. Steals a lot. This is where this next year is Aries' opportunity to fill up that gas tank. So how can you fill up the gas tank with good stuff? Whether it's money that you might need or you might want, whether it's a new computer, a new car, whatever's of value to you. Like, how can you save up and acquire what you need to get you to the next stop, which will be 12 years from now? So this is an important time for Aries to really focus in on acquiring and holding on to as best you can. Now, it might seem like that's a little difficult. I mean, the North Node's here. Usually the North Node, it doesn't make things easier by any means. Like, we want to do it, but it's definitely easier to go into South Node, 8th house territory, where it's like, oh, Aries, especially impulsive Aries, I'm just going to go get the quick thing to make the, $1 million, I'm buying lottery tickets over here. Especially here in the beginning with the squares to Pluto, which is the ruler of that South Node, and squaring it. Like, that's an interesting ingress point to have that square. This next year isn't about the lottery ticket or the trade that's, some crypto trade that's going to make you a millionaire, some pump and dump scheme. Like, that stuff will leave your tank empty. This is like real stuff that you put effort into, that you believe in, that you keep going. Amplify every bit of you that knows you have the capacity, just the pure capacity to keep bringing stuff in. And good stuff too. Quality. Taurus is quality. Second house is quality. It's also self-worth and security. So this could be a time where you could really sort of level up in the confidence factor in life of knowing you're good, knowing you can acquire what you need on your own, knowing the right time with that square to Pluto to ask for help, but to not always just be, help me, help me, help me, help me, help me, help me, which I don't think, right? Aries doesn't want to necessarily do that anyways. So this is like a test, it's knowing when to kind of dip into the pool with getting and receiving, but also knowing that you have to amplify what you want. What you want, you have to amplify. You have to also know. Jupiter's like the knowing. So you got to know you're going to get it. Yep, if I believe that I'm going to acquire this and I put in the steady, because Taurus is slow, the steady step-by-step due process, but I still hold that belief, you'll get it, by the end of the transit, you'll be like, yeah, I acquired everything I wanted. I needed all that. It felt hard in the beginning, maybe. Gosh, money was a big deal. I didn't have the money I wanted. Gas tank was really on empty, So this is your time. Fuel up on all the good stuff, Aries. You can really start to transform just the overall outlook of how you could be a master builder that can overall give other people the confidence to know that they're a builder too. This can be like with Pluto in the 11th with the square for you in Aquarius, and is going to retrograde back into Capricorn here shortly, but it's not there yet. And during this transit, Pluto's going to come back in. It's very crucial to know that your leadership abilities, to know that you can build and create, has a big ripple effect. It's a vibration. So it's important for you to remember that vibration, not overindulge in areas that aren't quality. Like what frequency of beauty in your life do you want? And how can you stay extremely focused and, honed in on that? But also, I would say the square to the 11th house too is you also don't want to push people away because you're so obsessed over some kind of a monetary value system, some kind of physical thing. I mean, this is knowing what you want, but definitely not pushing people away to get it, you still want to see how everybody can come up. And again, by you realizing the master builder quality and leading and building and acquiring, but through not necessarily a manipulative way, of course. I think that would be very, Pluto with the square and the South Node, it'd be very It'd probably leave you empty. You'd probably only fill up halfway and you wouldn't be able to make it to the next gas station. So just, this is a time to really, in many ways, be a quality person, Aries. Like, you have to uphold a big quality so that you can be that guru for yourself and for others. Um, Jupiter's kind of a lazy planet too at times. So, this is like a big test here, I think, too. Like, can you maintain and keep kind of going, keep grinding, keep acquiring, or are you going to get lazy? Because if you get lazy, you're not going to end up with the value and the full tank. So, it's it's both things, and also it's the belief about yourself. There's something that's going to change this year, starting off with the square to Pluto, that the whole way that you see yourself in relation to others and as just a part of this collective and what your role is in the collective is going to shift and expand and grow. And that's just giving you more capacity. Take on what's good in life. You get to kind of show the collective here for the next year what true value looks like. And kind of like be the teacher, like Jupiter's the teacher. So not only are you learning, but you're also a teacher of what's good and a leader, especially as an Aries, your first sign of the zodiac. Like, you get to be a teacher and a leader. That's a lot of power, Aries, and you are power, right? Emperor. You can wield a lot of power right now. What you do with it is important. Are you, using that power for building and for creating and for the realness? Or are you using it for, kind of scorpionic stuff, getting what you want, using people, And look, Scorpio's cool energy. I'm just saying, South Node's there for now, and the squares to Pluto. Like, don't use your power in the wrong way. This is just where you got to use your power for, like, legit, beautiful quality of life and quality of relationship with friends, and like really, really strong, valuable mergers with other people, and knowing when to pull out and when to go deeper and to go in all the way. All right, Taurus. So you got Jupiter in your first. Boom. So especially for Taurus rising, and I'll say this because I'm in it right now with my Aries rising, Jupiter in the first, you're probably going to gain some weight. Now, whether this is muscle, if you're working out all the time, yeah, could totally happen. Or, like, I gained like 10 pounds with Jupiter in my first. And, like, whatever, not a big deal. But straight up, like, I knew that was a thing, and I didn't really pay attention to it. I mean, I can look back and I was like, yeah, I probably did put on a few pounds 12 years ago. Or 13 years ago now. But, like, I really paid attention now because I'm into the astrology. So, look, you'll probably gain a few pounds. It's your body, the first house. It's your identity. It's, the scene. It's like, that's that. So Jupiter amplifies that. So it's also good because it gives you more of an ability to put yourself out there, more of an ability to know your direction in life. And I think to really see how big you are, whether it's through food or not. Like, you're big. You're here to be big, right? Jupiter kind of reminds us that, like, each and every one of us, when it comes to the first, like, we are here to take up a little bit of space, and to be a leader, and to, know that our story can change. So as Jupiter comes out of your 12th, which kind of was not exactly a fun place for Jupiter, like, this big new story's getting identified. You could change your look. You could change your appearance. Like, you could make your hair bigger. Whatever it is. Like, you'll start to, be a little louder, be a little bigger, a little bit more seen if you've been hiding out. So the belief in self, the belief in the empowerment is very important. This is pioneer stuff. This is like, of course, first house does deal with the one, your ID, and it's very Aries energy. So it's like you have to be a leader, a pioneer, to, instinctively go. And that's one of the beautiful things about Jupiter is it's so intuitive as a planet that you'll instinctively know where to go. and what path to take. And this is where, you're going to start to make a lot of choices for yourself. Where maybe there was a little bit of a limbo or, something like, no, you're pretty much going to believe in a path and you're going to take it. Especially you, because you're a Taurus and you're stubborn and there's a little fixed, energy to that. And you don't just move a bowl, right? Don't just sit there. Unless you're a cowboy, I guess, and you're real good at moving cattle. But, doesn't if you don't want to move, you're not going to move. But this is a time where whenever you do want to move, you're going to do it. I'm going to go. I'm going to make this happen. This is what I want. So you have to remember, too, to not be, too selfish, because this can amplify sense of self so much that, don't forget to think about the other. Don't rely completely on somebody else right now. Don't feel, the need to be super codependent. This is a time to, amplify your defining nature in life, to really find your way, to open it up. And again, show people how big you are, that you can make decisions, that you know what you like, that you know what you want, except that other people might not value the same thing as you. That's all good. But definitely, I think it's a good time for Taurus, just in, if there was any indecisiveness, this brings the decision, I believe this is the route. And trusting your intuition and your instincts is a big deal in that. So that's part of this year is really learning to, when you get that big, ooh, what's this? Act on it. First house is a house of action. So every time you take action, again, this is amplified energy with Jupiter. It can have repercussions depending on your action, especially with Pluto in the 10th in that square, and with the 7th house. And think about responsibility in the 10th house, high character. You can't just go out and do every single thing you want because, especially if it's, something that's hurting, Aquarius stuff, other people. It's high character. Every time you believe in yourself and you act powerfully for your high character, you're gonna just see huge ramifications in a good way. But if you're just so focused on your goals and just hyper focused on you, and you don't, give any attention to your partner, your friends, you'll see that people are wow, you just don't even care about me. You're too focused on yourself. What am I, chopped liver? Right? So, you gotta figure out the balance. That's what it's all about. The balance, knowing when you need to go to do those things, amplifying your life, having the courage to be the leader in your life. But remember that you gotta share this world with other people. I know you're gonna be big right now, you can be larger than life, and that's good, but as long as you share with others, you'll be, I think, pleasantly surprised with this transit. And it's going to kick off a lot of story energy, the journey of the last 12 years ended in your 12th. So now there's a whole new, it's a whole new world. A whole new world. So who do you want to be in this world? I think that's a big test. That's what Taurus is going to find out as we get this square and the nodes. It's who do you want to be and how do you want to relate it, and how are you going to use it? So hopefully use it in a powerful, assertive, strong way, but in a little bit of compromise, and using that focus that you could have to get what you need and to get where you want to go, but not abusing, that power as well. We all got to worry, we all got to look at the Pluto square for this Ingress and think, how could I be abusing Jupiter and that place in my life? So for you, it's being too me, self-focused, hyper-fixated on your goals, your ambitions, and not caring about what anybody else is doing. You just won't have good relationships. And by no means am I saying just focus on other people. No, you won't. You're going to believe in yourself too much and have too much confidence, and your ego's amplified with Jupiter here. So you just got to check yourself sometimes and make sure that things can be fair and balanced, and you'll be good. But congratulations on your new journey. You're about to see a whole 12-year cycle kind of get amped up. And hopefully it's of quality, value, and, you really being able to assert yourself in a really beautiful way that gets you what you want. All right, Gemini, you have Jupiter in the 12th for the next year. So Jupiter in the 12th is probably one of the harder transits in astrology. It amplifies subconscious, whether they're patterns, whether they're fears. It's almost like you want to be seen so bad, but you're kind of just not. You're almost like invisible. And look, you're not invisible, and you don't have to like overdo it. This can amplify insecurities in the 12th house, anxieties, dreams, which can be, a good thing, but it can, be a little, whoa, this is kind of crazy. It's also closing a 12-year cycle out. So you're also seeing like certain aspects since the last 12 years in your life that are just simply not expanding anymore. So Jupiter's a weird one in the 12th because it wants to expand, and it does. It expands your sort of enlightenment, can expand your intuition, your spiritual qualities, but like the real stuff, which is, an interesting thing just for Gemini in general, because the archetype has Taurus in the 12th house. It can be a real, mind bender for Gemini energy, because trying to understand everything of value in this world, and even themselves on some level, is a little diluted in the 12th. So, don't hold on for dear life. Like, let God, really, like, let God come in. Because one thing about Jupiter in the 12th is it is an angel on your shoulder. Like, no matter what phases out, or whatever fear subconsciously gets amplified, you're gonna make it. Like, you're good. Like, it just can feel like the worst because it's so many things that we don't see happening, whether it's other people talking, and it's like, God, I just know people are talking about me. I just know people are, saying things. The 12th house rules institutions, hospitals, jail cells, right? So you just have to amplify like taking a time out. Like, you don't have to be everywhere at once. The more time that you can kind of spend in solitude in your life, the more you will actually feel at peace. It might get boring after a while, but you will feel at peace. And you'll really start to see your wisdom expand. Like, this is like spiritual wisdom, like amplified to the max. Just whenever we get that, it usually distorts our reality a little bit, and it can make it hard to balance reality with maybe the bigger, like really universal, galactic truths, which is very 12th house in Jupiter. Like, it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to merge those worlds. So you don't have to, go prove anything right now either. And especially with Jupiter in your 12th squaring Pluto in your 9th, like, there's a big belief transformation that's taking place. And it's very, deep inside the subconscious. Like, there's something changing about just the bigger philosophies in your life. Like, what's real? Like, what really matters? What am I really aiming towards in life? And by the end of this year, you're going to have the ID on it and start to empower yourself with just that. What your higher, belief system is in life. And as, beliefs start to dissolve and new ones start to become seen, which they will, accept that transformation. And, this would be hard for people that are very stuck in their way or dogmatic, because it's just not gonna yield the same results. Like, you'll just feel like a hamster in a wheel just running and not going anywhere. And that's where psychosis in the 12th house can get amplified with Jupiter. So it's a time to be very adaptable and receptive to what you feel, and to take time to feel things. Like just numbing out, drugs, alcohol, like by all means, everything in moderation. Like I'm not telling everybody to be no goody two shoes here, but overindulgence in things that is like are to escape reality, those can land you in an institution or a jail cell with Jupiter in the 12th. So you have to learn like the moderation of like when it's okay to escape and when you have to be in reality. And it's an interesting one because, of course, it's with the North Node and Pluto square the South Node and all that jazz. So, you also have to learn to like not be so particular. Like the South Node going through your 6th had Geminis being more like a Virgo. Like way picky, just constantly judging themselves, others, gossip. I mean, it just picks everything apart. Like nothing gets by 6th house or Virgo energy. Nothing. It's just like, that's dirty. Like it's picky energy, right? So you also don't want to be so picky that you're missing sort of the great chance to see a really, really beautiful big picture that's kind of coming to fruition, but also part of that's coming to close and coming to an end. So you're going to see what spiritually aligns with your belief systems of the future. And if you can willingly acknowledge that without escaping the feelings, but and numbing yourself out, still using being here and present in reality, but knowing that it's good to take a time out. Like escape for Gemini right now should be meditation, right? It should be something that's enlightening, something that's connecting them more with God, the universe, whatever you believe in, right? Because this is your belief, Gemini. Like what you believe in is super important right now. And if beliefs are changing, you got to welcome in the new information that's trying to find you. Like maybe it's a visitation, in your dreams. Like dreams are going to get amplified in the 12th. So just different energy is going to find you right now. It could be an extremely synchronistic time. So I think that's a beautiful thing. But it's like if you don't slow down and take in the synchronicities, you miss out. If you're too focused on the daily schedule and just hitting every box throughout the day, and you don't like take time to kind of like just see the beauty all around you, then you miss like the little things too that are extremely helpful, that really are the angel on your shoulder coming through to show you the bigger picture. So this is a mentally challenging transit for Gemini especially. So whenever you get too stuck in your head and just constantly thinking, and these thoughts are not opening doors in your life, they just feel like you're thinking about beating your head against a door or a wall. You gotta take time to stop the mind, slow it down, go into the right side of your brain. Use your imagination, channel, just see what, close your eyes for a while and see what shapes appear. Like that's where gifts come from this transit, is not from the physical world, it's from the other world. But again, that's a hard one and a fine line to walk at times, because we can also go into, psychosis and become a little mentally ill because we can become so disconnected from reality. So again, everything in balance, and be here, but take time for yourself throughout the day. Don't rush either to get everything done or stress yourself out. Like you could stress yourself out at the same time too. This is like, the gift is in the chill out. The chill out, stop trying so hard, and see what you can receive when you do calm things down. All right, Cancer. Cancer rising. You got Jupiter in the 11th. That's a nice place to have Jupiter. Jupiter really likes the 11th house. It really likes Aquarius, especially in Vedic astrology. So I'm stoked for Cancer here. This is bringing in new, like, it's like new friends. It's more time out in public. It's more time focused on your ideals, like your visions. I mean, this is where Cancer gets to kind of like start seeing what the future can bring, and then who's on the team with you, like who's playing this game, and who wants to implement the ideas, who wants to try these like radical new ideas, who wants to just talk about ideas. This is just a good time for being around people, being out in the world, learning from people, listening to people. It can be extremely positive time, and just where you really start to channel what your future could be. And you'll see that it brings like good luck with friends, and like you'll feel like you have really good people karma, especially with the North Node there. Like if you're just doing you, Cancer, and you're just focused on just you, and kind of like not focusing and putting energy into like what you can do with others, I mean, you'll kind of like miss some of this good karma. So you have to like take this like powerful presence that you're finding, this like really strong ego that knows how to create, that knows how to have a good time and bring fun, but like put it towards something that's just going to be, at least in your world, it's going to make it better for the people around you. And as a Cancer too, you're here to be this like nurturing presence in your life, of course, like being able to take care of yourself, take care of others. Like there's this nurturing quality. So anytime that you can, nurture and kind of uplift people, and friends and groups, like you'll see like the vibration of that will start to, reshape the collective, kind of mindset, and like even just like collective group think, because that's a thing. That's why Aquarius is 11th house energy. So like every individual makes a difference and changes like the overall collective consciousness. So this is where Cancers are kind of like really intuitively tapped into that and can see the better way and the odd route that works, and how to support themselves through it and how to support others through it. So this is Jupiter in the 11th should be very positive for Cancer. I just think you'll find like you're just going to be attracting a lot of people into your life right now. There's like a really magnetic quality with the square to Pluto, and that quality can bring a lot of benefit into your life. Again, the downside with being so like kind of hyper focused on you and your securities and your comforts and your needs and what's fun to you and just me, that you're like forgetting about other people, and then like using other people just to get what you want. Like that's a big theme with this Jupiter square Pluto, is like, gosh, how could I, especially with Pluto in your 8th, like, gosh, how could I could make things better if only I could get this, and this from another person. And what's funny is if you just kind of like be yourself, you will get it anyways. Like Jupiter's just going to bring people to you that kind of want to help. But I think if you force connection or, intimacy or romance, even with, the 5th house stuff, like you're missing out on the objectivity to see into the future of like what you're channeling. And that's where you can get like, kind of stuck. And I feel like it's like testing your trust, like kind of testing the trust of Cancers right now. And especially in terms of relationship stuff, because Pluto's been in that 7th house. So like it is like learning new ways to relate and trust, and not be so like, shelled up. Like you won't get to my creamy insides. They've already been, like the crab, right? I've already had my shell cracked so many times. I'm not going to let you crack it. Like that's another way. There's like, you're going to learn different ideals and visions and ways to understand people on deeper levels that don't disempower you at the same time. So I think that's a very positive thing, but you'll come up with something new during this transit. And I think whether it's in relations, with other people, you'll be able to be a powerful catalyst for change right now, for something better. If you need to do something different, like this is your time to experiment. Like Jupiter in the 11th wants to experiment a little bit. Like I'd say again, be careful with your experiments because like you don't want to bring something back from the dead here with Pluto in the 8th that isn't, going into a future that doesn't have like, something you want to like idealize into the future. Like this is a good time, I think, to really like think like, what do I want in my future? And then, check with everything you're bonded to in the 8th house and be like, yeah, I probably shouldn't resurrect that just because I believe it can fit into my future. Like, you put in a lot of work with Jupiter in the 10th. So, like, don't let that go to waste either. Like, start to, like, take what you've taken on over the last year, and this is, like, where you get to see if, it really is going to work long term, and if it can, like, not only help you in your life, but if it can help others too. So Cancer should definitely enjoy this Jupiter energy. I think in the 11th house, it's good friendship karma, groups, new people are going to kind of show up in your life. You might get a new teacher, it could be a friend that has some, wisdom that they bring you, or, you start to really, become that teacher in your group too. Even if you are already, you'll kind of get some more, just downloads of, wow, there's a lot of different ways. Because Jupiter wants to amplify these very eclectic, different ways of doing things that the 11th house brings. It just doesn't want to follow the norm. It's like you kind of found like the norm in the 10th house of like how to take on things, and then now you're like refurbishing what your commitments are. And seeing like what really is going to stick and how you want to do it. Like you're like finding your way, your like unique approach to whether it's with people or in terms of what you want to achieve in the world. You're taking the next step to make sure that it all fits together. All right, Leo. Yeah, Jupiter in the 10th for Leo. So this is good. I feel like it doesn't suck, right? Like it's definitely going to square a lot of your, planets. If you're a Leo sun, you probably, have Mercury, Venus there, squares your ascendant, as a Leo rising. But this is like a big, all right, time to take on more responsibility in life. Time to work hard, but it's working hard for things that you really value in Taurus, especially in your 10th house, like a career that you value, the, knowledge base that you want to really firm up, and it's almost like put that to work more, share, it's the public too, so it's like Leos are going to be more in the public. So I feel like Leos are actually, really going to like Jupiter in the 10th, because I feel like they're going to want to stand out, be seen, take on, projects that can get them farther in life, be climb up the ladder. Like Leos are going to be climbing up the ladder. So Jupiter, it doesn't necessarily love the 10th house, but man, oh man, can it pay off when it's there. So you have to remember like the fine line of like, okay, should I chill out and take a break? Or should I, keep climbing this mountain? And it, Jupiter can amplify the responsibilities, so it can feel like a lot. Like it can feel like, gosh, I have a ton of things that I have to do. I have a ton of responsibilities. I wish I could just have a break. I wish I just had a day off. And I don't know. You want to go up the mountain. You just gotta stay persistent. So persistence is key. And instead of like working on a bunch of projects, because Jupiter kind of wants to more. Like, what do you really, like, what do you want to be known for, right? What do you want people to build a statue of you for? Like that's what I feel like this is for Leo. Like you want a statue, Leo? Like what are they building it for? And like the more you hone in to what that is, you'll you'll make it happen. But that one thing is going to have a lot of responsibility in it. So I feel like this is like that year where you're going to find that thing and you're going to go all, you got to go all in if you want the statue. Yeah, you got to go all in if you want the statue. But if you do, hard work pays off. And, you could feel like, oh, Jupiter coming into my 10th, like it's just going to be a good career year. Well, maybe, maybe. But that's, again, like if you, like Jupiter just wants you to take on more, which is just more work. Like it's heavy. So you have to like take on more weight in life and you will accomplish more. And it can feel like a lot, but you'll become so strong and, you know, just, gosh, what's the word I'm looking for? Just know, I can't remember that word, whatever. But like, look, if your career that you're in right now and you're into it and you value it, like, and you're going to put the effort in and amplify everything that you can towards what you want, Jupiter will give you the gift. It's just going to feel like Saturnian. It's not going to feel like Jupiter. It's going to feel like, gosh, what is all of this stuff I have to do? But you'll see the worth in it. And that's where Jupiter and Taurus for you is cool, because you'll see the value in the hard work and in the effort. And the more you put yourself out there, take things on, I'm telling you, you'll be stoked that you did, because you will get the gift of the successful career you want, the higher place in society that you want, whatever it might be. Like you're tearing up, and yeah, you can't shy away from those aspects right now that are going to get you further. Gotta go for it. It's definitely your go time to. This is your accomplishment house. Go after the things you want to accomplish. Set big goals. And then put in the work to get there. Squares over to Pluto in the 7th. I think that's an interesting one. And having a South Node in the 4th, like it's hard, because when you get to a place like this, and Jupiter in the 10th, and North Node finishing up there, it's hard to take on so much, especially when it comes to work, or really having this thing that you want to accomplish, and you can get so kind of focused on it that you can it can be a struggle with people in your life. So you have to kind of figure out too, like how to balance going after things, making shit happen, like making it happen, handling business in life with still doing relationships and like being there for other people. And I think if you could do that, like you'll be good. But it's also going to show you like what people in your life want to see you succeed. And you might have some really big ideas, ideals, beliefs about what you want to do. And it's like Pluto in the 7th and the square is like people not believing in you, that you can do that you can take it to the next level. So, there's just this like other person area in your life that whether either way, whether it's people not believing in you or you not, believing that people are important on, this trip up the mountain too, which is a hard one too, because look, I've climbed some mountains. Like I know when you climb a mountain and you bring someone with you, if they can't make it, it's really frustrating, right? Because you're like, we're so close, and they're like, I can't keep going. It could feel like that too for you. Like we gotta go. There's like the gift up there, the prestige, and other people might just not see it. And this is where, like, again, with the 4th house stuff, you kind of you do have to stay persistent for your goals right now to make them happen, because you can't get too sentimental about that either. Like it's a really weird line in that area for you. Like that's going to be the weird line, is you're going to be so focused on getting more with your business, your career, your achievements, whatever it is you're putting your time and energy into, that it's going to be hard to emotionally relate with people if they are not on the same page and like ready to grind it out with you. So it's like there's going to be conflict of interest with people who want to grind it out with you and people that don't. And that's just where you got to understand that not everybody's going to get to the top with you, and you have to make that choice too, because it's big decisions in the 10th house. So it's like there's just always going to be these choices. Like, are you going to keep going or are you going to stop? And you'll figure it out one way or another, but that's probably what I would say the biggest thing will be, is like, certain relationships and people just not, wanting to go as high and as far as you. And you'll have to figure out some way to relate, without, I think, just being too harsh or putting people down too. Like, just accept that people are not going to go with you. And it's all right, because you're going to go shine bright on the top of the mountain, and you're going to put in a lot of work and take on a lot of responsibility to get there, and you're going to earn it. So it's like, you earned it. Don't worry about if other people, don't believe in you. Believe in all the things you want. And figure out some way to balance that with people too, so that you can still have friends, right? Because Jupiter's going to come into your 11th house next year. It's like good friend karma too. So like, every decision has weight in the 10th house. That's why it's big decisions. So like, everything has a repercussion, and it's Saturn. So like, you can make karma in the 10th house too. It's like very Saturn energy. So decisions have consequences. If you can go about them from a high character, from some kind of a balanced, diplomatic way, you'll probably resolve karma. If, you kind of just say, screw you, like, you probably will create some relationship karma for another time. So I will finish with that. All right, Virgo. You got Jupiter in your 9th house. That is also good luck. So congratulations, Virgo. It's a very it's a lucky time. That's a planet of abundance. That house definitely wants to amplify, bring abundance to. Great time for learning. Like, this is just a good energy for taking more knowledge in, or sharing your knowledge. Not being afraid to share that knowledge, to be a teacher, and if you're not at teacher level yet, Virgo, this is where, you're going to find information in different philosophies, and you might like find a new philosopher that you really resonate with, that, is going to take you higher to, your faith in many ways. But it is, lucky to have Jupiter transiting through the 9th. Good things usually happen. It usually brings a positive attitude, a positive outlook. Jupiter goes deep in the 8th in Aries, where you had it. So it's been very deep, like the deepest rabbit holes you could possibly go down. Now it's time to take what you found in those rabbit holes and get out of the hole. Like, 9th house is climbing out of the hole and upward. So it's time for Virgo to, I think, really look farther, to look bigger, to be more intuitive. This is, not that Virgo's not intuitive. Virgo's extremely intuitive. Look, their mind is Scorpio. Like, come on, 3rd house, Scorpio. Like, it's deep. But the South Node's here too. So like, you almost want to be too heady. This is like more intuitive. What do you believe? You're just gonna get, like, Zeus is gonna throw lightning bolts into your psyche, and what are you gonna do with it? Are you gonna go study some more, like the insight that you saw? Go see. This could definitely be travel. Like, this is where Virgos could kind of like be like, okay, I've had enough of this small town vibe. Like, I'm going, I'm going to go somewhere. Take a trip, learn more, see more. Because sometimes just seeing other cultures just is a huge learning. People learn so much when they see how other people live. So it's just, it's a lot of, It's a lot of just new information, philosophy, ways of living, ways of being, understanding different religions, different faiths, amplifying your own faith, following that. And I think seeing too, like, it's just such a big world. There's just so much opportunity. It's like, how do you, shift from any kind of negative, way of thinking to a more positive way of thinking too? Like anytime you can like be more just also adaptive, right, to situations. Like I always think of like travel, right, with the ninth house in Jupiter too. And it's like, sometimes there's delays, sometimes there's setbacks, but like hopefully you can still be excited to get to where you're going. And sometimes it's not even about where you're going, it's just the way that you get there and who you meet along the way and different, avenues and different routes that you never thought you would have taken. Like this is just being on the journey and seeing that the journey is happening and that it's okay if there's setbacks. But like any kind of like positive shift that you can have without going too deep into the facts. Because like, look, you can get into the facts and be like, oh gosh, and Pluto in the sixth, the South Node in the third. Like you could, oh my God, I'm going to be late. Oh my God, I'm not going to make it on time. Oh, this is going to ruin my whole schedule when I get there. Like, yeah, maybe, but just be open. Like, things happen for a reason right now. Like, you don't need to be so controlling of life. Like, this is more an opportunity to have more freedom, to be more free flowing, to just kind of say, screw it. Let's see what happens. Like, everything doesn't have to be perfectly planned out. Nothing has to be perfect. Like, you'll find that more perfect moments come if you just envision and believe that the journey is going to be a good time and that it's going to provide like really valuable information to your life. So I mean, I do think it's like just too like there's something with Pluto in the sixth for this like ingress and square and the nodes. It's just such a good time for Virgo to like change the routine. You don't have to stick to something that's keeping things so small, that keeps you so confined. This is like a great opportunity for like some really freeing opportunity. Like take the opportunity to like free yourself. Like don't worry so much. Don't worry. Like just like believe that you'll be fine if you feel like intuitively you got to go somewhere. You will. You'll be fine. Jupiter just wants to make everything, I don't know. I mean, it brings in a lot, don't get me wrong, and it is in the mental axis. It's not like all sunshine and rainbows, but it really is a good spot. Your beliefs are just powerful right now. So if you keep them positive and kind of set on what's really going to bring more like gold into your life, you'll bring in more gold, or you'll go on a journey that's going to show you more value. Show you more of a better way to go about the day to day that you want to build a new tradition around. So like you can start to see like your trend, your tradition, your beliefs get this big like aha that are like actually trying to make things more fun and better. And it's like different ways of thinking. So I think the Virgos are just going to be like, wow, I can't believe I think like this now. Because you're getting a big like mind upgrade that you haven't got for the last 12 years. So it's like different ways of thinking and believing are going to change your journey and amplify it. And I mean, look, you can also, just get so caught up in what you believe in that you don't want to take on more or learn anything more, that, you just kind of stay in the same old, same old. Like, sure, but, that's going to be mundane and boring, and I feel like this is your opportunity to spice things up this year. So spice it up in a fun way. Go on vacation. Go somewhere that you've always wanted to go. Do something you've always wanted to do. Life's short. Like, this is like a great opportunity to live. and you'll learn something really valuable. No matter what you do, you're going to learn something really valuable, but I mean, that's the benefit of, especially of Jupiter in the ninth, is that, especially for you with Taurus, like the more you expand and get out of like such a consolidated, almost like just hole, just like a mental K-hole. It's like what it can be sometimes. It's very investigative and it's deep, and there's so many good qualities to having a Scorpio third house, but it can be the deepest rabbit hole your mind could ever go through, and it can be dark in that hole. So you get to expand out of that. That's the opportunity right now. So don't play it small. Like, this is your great opportunity to really play it big. And I hope whatever you learn along the way opens up your mind even more. Like, this is a mind-opening experience. Jupiter just in itself rules like acid trips, mushrooms. And that's kind of like what this energy is a little bit with everything in the ninth. I'm not saying go out and do acid or mushrooms, but there's something about unlocking chambers in your brain that different things are going to start spinning. However that comes about, it could be from a travel, it could be from something, a teacher, whatever it is, there's going to be different. Like, the wheels are going to spin differently for you. And that is the gift, is that you'll believe differently because you'll see more. So, Libra. Jeez. All right, Libra. Jupiter in the 8th. So that 8th house is getting amplified. And I mean, this is not terrible by any means, Libra. It's just like, it's all about merging. It's all about intimacy. It's all about your passions. I mean, this is the time to really go into those like bonding situations. To let people in. To really like penetrate into what you want. To be vulnerable. But it can be hard too, because it can, like, again, be a little not sure, like, if it really wants to let something in, because the 8th house can deal with things being taken away. It deals with like things coming in and things going away, which is a nice way of saying like death and rebirth energy. But that's part of the transmutation. So Jupiter amplifies the occult, the unseen, right, in the 8th. So if there's like lies or, things that haven't come out, like, Jupiter will expand those. So it's not an ideal time to lie. You might have Jupiter there and think that you could just lie to get away with it. Everything that you think is hidden, Jupiter will kind of expand to the point where you can't hide it anymore. So you're just going to want to be truthful and honest and vulnerable. And I mean, that's going to be one of the greatest things, is the more like truthful and honest you are, the deeper your relationships will get, your passionate connections, your intimate connections. The more amplified everything will get by being truthful and like saying the black and white. But, it could also amplify that need to hide things, or to kind of, keep things under wraps. It is good for investments, having Jupiter in the 8th house. So like, that's something for Libra too. It's like, well, it's kind of time for you, think about some investments maybe. Like, how can you put a little bit away? For the other Venus sign, for Aries, your opposite sign, right? It's second house. Like, not so much like investment, but more like, how can you put in some work and go get it? Like, for you, it's kind of like, well, where can I put my money to make, to get a, good return on investment? And just energetically. So it doesn't even have to be just monetarily, but like, where you invest your energy right now will have big Jupiter sort of repercussions. Hopefully for a positive way and not a negative way, obviously, but it could amplify situations too where you have to go through some darker situations in life. Like Jupiter is just a big amplifier. So, could amplify tax situation. If taxes aren't going well, like Jupiter could, bring a letter in the mail. Definitely could enhance and like amplify libido, like sex drive. Especially with Mars in square in the 10th. It'll amplify you just really wanting to get what you want also. So kind of like it brings a little bit of manipulative energy. Like it can tell like the most elaborate story in the 8th to get what it wants. Because it knows that if it goes into that story, that somebody will believe it. And if you can convince one person, you can convince everybody. And I think that was like, I don't know, a Charles Manson quote or something, but... Or no, I think it was Jim Jones. So you don't want to be like a cult leader right now either, and have everybody sipping, drinking the juice. So just make sure that everything that you're really exposing, I think, the things that you find solid value and beauty in, and that you go all in and penetrate deeper into those things and invest your time and energy and invest, into the right people that do bring that sort of, that stability that you're looking for, that you're hopefully finding with yourself, that, energy you merge with holds that same frequency and, brings more value. This is like a big, Jupiter will show all the shadows in the 8th house. It'll just show every shadow so that what's what. Like it makes it black and white. And then you get the knowing. But again, this is like really positive for, I think, any kind of like astrology. If you want to learn more astrology, if you want to learn more tarot, if you want to learn more alchemy, hermeticism, like, going deeper and deeper into whatever, numerology, these, these little secret mysteries and mystery schools of reality. Jupiter's killer in the 8th house there for any of that. But, it could amplify situations of death. Like, you could have people die in your life. And look, I hope nobody goes through that, but Jupiter isn't always just the gift, right? Like sometimes it just amplifies that energy. So you have to like, it's like learning when to let go. Like that's always an 8th house lesson because it'll get so obsessed with what it wants. Because it knows, especially with a Taurus 8th house, like know what you want. You want it. You're going to hold on tight. Especially if it provides comfort and security. You'll just see like that doesn't fit into the story anymore, or it was built on a lie, or little things like that. But it does deal with like inheritance as well. So I'm sure some Libra out there is going to get an inheritance. Not everybody, obviously. And again, I hope that nobody loses anybody, but it's part of life, and the 8th house teaches us that. And Pluto in the 5th with the square. And again, even the South Node in the 2nd, like, you're not really meant to be just playing it safe and secure right now, Libra. You kind of are wanting to go deeper and take some risks. And you don't have to do it all by yourself. This is a good time to merge with other people. Like, 2 can be more powerful than 1. And that's awesome for you because you're a Libra and you're about relationships. So it's like, build relationships that really solidify your life and bring deep passionate value. So it can't be surface level either. It's got to be like some deep talks, deep stories. All those things will come up and you'll find that they amplify some thing in you that helps you learn and create more. And, I guess the square to Pluto would really be, just not wanting to trust people, right? not wanting to like fully show yourself too, or overdoing it and, again, like manipulating others because you're feeling maybe very empowered in this, and just, I can get whatever I want, whatever I need. Or it can, you can feel like other people want everything of yours. And like, no, 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 I don't want to, I'm not going to give that up, which is part of that square too. I'm not going to give that up. No way. Like, this is a good time to share. Sharing is good, and you'll see that the more you share, the more comes back to you. The 8th house is a receiving house, but it does take putting energy in to get energy back. And it's just a good time to not hide things. This is a good time to, be fully expressive in, in a balanced, chill way, but to fully express yourself and to kind of not leave like anything, any page unturned. Like, also like to pay, deep attention to, the fine print. Like, if you're investigating something, like, you can't like just turn your head on some piece of evidence, right? Like, this is like where you got to collect all the evidence here, and then if something needs to be, said, to say it, and to express, and to, kind of show. But this is, I kind of like, I feel like Libras are gonna be into this because I feel like it's very passionate, but it is almost like getting really deep with someone and then having a breakup, or a friend going away or something, and then having to feel like, gosh, that was the best love or friendship I ever had, and now it's not there. And part of this is like going deep and loving yourself so that you can really relate and love others. But I think accepting that, everything has an expiration date sometimes, and that's where some of the greatest gifts come, is through that wisdom that we learn when we learn it at certain times in our life. So don't be afraid of things leaving. Whatever leaves, Jupiter is actually trying to say that there's something else that's going to come in. And some things can't be replaced. So don't expect an exact replacement. But it's a good time and opportunity to remember you can create, and always resurrect when times feel deep or insecure or harsh. You can always resurrect just good energy into your life. Happiness, joy. Like, Pluto's definitely trying to bring some of that out. Love, romance. And maybe it's beliefs around, love and romance that are going through maybe the biggest like overhaul, so that you can really have the committed, relationships that you really want. So this is deep. I think, look, it's really deep for partnerships, relationships, money, taxes, occult knowledge. But like, again, this is going to be a hard time to hide. Like, you can't hide. You're not going to be able to hide shit. Like, any Libra that tells a lie, they're going to get caught. And I'll tell you too that if anybody lies to a Libra, you're going to get caught. So it's going to work both ways. Like, nobody's going to fucking lie to a Libra with this. Libras will sniff it out in a heartbeat. They'll know the truth. So don't lie to a Libra if you're cross-watching this. And if you're a Libra, same thing. That's the reflection here for you. You start lying. You start, trying to get away with stuff. Nope, it'll be sniffed out in a heartbeat, and it'll be exposed. That's this Pluto. Like, you thought you could just manipulate them and lie? Well, that wasn't, for happiness. Like, just being honest and truthful, it'll pay off. So, all right, Scorpio. You got Jupiter in the 7th. It's nice for relationships. I mean, this is definitely like amplifying relationship qualities in your life. So if you're in a relationship, that relationship's probably going to be, more noticed, if you will, if you haven't been putting much attention into it, or just whatever it could be. Like, the relationship's going to get amplified for good, bad, ugly. It doesn't really, that's hard to say. That's going to be, personal. But Jupiter will amplify the alignment and the balance in your life right here. Justice. It's going to amplify if things are fair, equal. Like, you'll know. So this is actually a great time for Scorpio to like be the diplomat in life. You'll know what's fair and what's not fair, and that's a great way to relate to people. Like, you'll know if you're being taken advantage of, or even if you're taking advantage of somebody, God forbid. You'll just, Jupiter wants to like right everything and make sure the scales are in alignment, but it'll amplify every bit of the scales being out of alignment. So if relationships aren't good, Jupiter's going to show you every truth to why the relationship isn't good. And it'll show you every truth to why the relationship's great. So that's what it's going to be with relationships. And I think that you'll learn a lot. Like Jupiter here, you'll learn a lot from people, from partners, from just, it could be from friends, anybody outside yourself. Like, they'll definitely teach you something, and you'll teach other people something too. But yeah, anything that's not fair or just completely out of alignment in your life, it'll be so disharmoniously blown up that, okay. But it is good luck too for getting into relationships, being in relationships, especially if they're balanced and together. North Node's there. Like, what a positive time to be a Scorpio in a relationship. Now, again, look, if you're in a relationship and you're a Scorpio and it sucks and you know it. Like, just because you have Jupiter in the 7th doesn't mean it's going to be good luck. It's just going to amplify why it's not good luck so that you can get into one that's good luck. You know what I'm saying? But every way that you delegate life, that's getting sort of the new knowledge brought to it. And the way that you can believe in people is, that's getting amplified. South Node's in your first. You don't have to do it all alone. You don't have to block people out. I think this is showing, this is just a big like refuel on how beneficial people are in your life and how much value people bring, and that you don't want to do it alone. Like, believe that it's time to like let more people in. Like, this is a people time. So I do think that Scorpios put more effort into like going out. If you're single, you're going to go on more dates. This is like more dates. If you're in a relationship, probably more dates too. Like, it's trying to like amplify the quality of the relationship too. People will probably, there'll be proposals and stuff for Scorpios out there. Like, it's going to be popping for relationships. They'll probably be crazy too with Uranus and like Jupiter and Uranus coming together. Like, you'll probably get like, some Scorpio out there is going to get the craziest like wedding proposal ever. I don't know. It'd be like the most unique thing they could have never imagined. Pluto in the 4th is definitely like a check mark, because it's like these insecurities, kind of deep within, could be the thing that's holding you back from a really good relationship. You have to trust I think it's important to trust yourself at the same time. Like, not to be just, I can do it all by myself, I'm good, but to remember to like really understand why you feel a certain way, and then like ask the questions of like why you feel a certain way, so that you can be able to express how you're feeling. Like, that's the thing. I feel like Pluto's going to try and like keep real emotion and feeling like down a little bit for this, and it's like, that's what you want. You want to have the conversations, you want to learn from people, like, you want to go farther with people. Like, don't hide the the real you. So I feel like that's going to be a positive thing. Is Scorpios are going to like come out and kind of show the real them, to like bring relationships into more of an alignment. And some will like hide and keep things buried. And I think that'll just make them feel more alone than they want to be. Because this is a good opportunity to start to see how much benefit people can bring into your life with Jupiter in your seventh. So people are super important. Like, if you're single, you should start dating. Like, just do it. Just go on some dates and see what could happen. Jupiter could bring the magic into your life. Like, sure, it could bring the worst date you've ever had into your life. Like, I'm not going to say that, like, it's going to be top tier, but you kind of have to go through the journey, if you're single, to kind of find out what is in alignment and what fits with you. And someone that you can, really share the deep stuff with. Think about the family, think about a home life. It's kind of crazy having Pluto right there, on the cusp and squaring Jupiter in the seventh. Like, beliefs about relationships. If you were in one, like, I mean, this could be like family stuff. Like, that could be something that's changing. Like, either like a Scorpio was like, oh, I never really wanted to be in a family or have a family. I just kind of wanted to, they'll start to believe here this will be a shift and a transmutation, like where they want to start a family. Or vice versa, like a Scorpio could be in a committed relationship for years, have a family, and at the same time go through this and be like, do I really believe that do I still feel like this is in alignment and this is what I want? So everything's trying to level out, and Jupiter is just going to show you where it's not and where it is. So then that comes down to like being able to make decisions and to be honest and to let out your feelings and, let people know how you feel. That is the ticket. Because if you're feeling some way and you just hide it in, then you're just going to build resentment, and Jupiter's going to come into the 8th house next year, and it's going to be a volcano. So enjoy all the dates, Scorpio, or just dates. Enjoy people, really enjoy people. All right, Sag. Jupiter in the 6th house. Not Jupiter's favorite place to be. It gets a little mundane, especially for a Sag, right? Because it's your ruling planet. Oh, I got thick. It's your ruling planet. You want to go on the journey. You want to have fun. You want to laugh. And then it gets into the 6th house, and it's like, shit. I have to, like, crack down. Like, the 6th house is very sobering. There's, like, no escape. Like, there's only 24 hours in a day, and you're going to have to, like, take care of things during the day. And it's going to feel like all these little things are getting amplified. It's, it could bring up little things with health. And that's where Jupiter can amplify, like, little things that you don't pay attention to can, like, turn into a big thing. So if you feel like you need to, get something checked out, like, check it out. What Jupiter's really good at in the 6th is showing you the bright side of the life you're harvesting, and to see the abundance in the perfection that you can create on a day-to-day basis, on a moment-to-moment basis, and to, like, appreciate the little things. But it can amplify our pickiness too. Like, gosh, you could have Jupiter in the 6th and just not be satisfied ever. And I would hate to see Sag, like, just go through life not being satisfied or never feeling like something's good enough. Like, feeling like every imperfection is just blown up and, like, right in your face. So it's like a fine line. It's like seeing, like, yeah, things are imperfect, but seeing how cool it is that things are imperfect. Like, at the same time, like, it's cool. Let me see if I can fix it. Like, Jupiter wants to make changes in the 6th to fix things that don't make sense. Like, especially intuitively. Like, You might think they make sense, like, okay, this makes sense, on a factual basis, but then Jupiter's got this like wild idea that wants to like shake it up in the sixth house, and I think that you want to like embrace sort of this, oh, you know what, I do believe that if I change this and then try it, that it can, yield a better day-to-day result. Um, because of course it's health, of course it's day-to-day, it's very analytical, it's not going to miss a beat. Like the sixth house, like it's so hyper focused. It's so detail oriented. That's just the big thing, is like over focusing on all the little things and imperfections will make you go crazy. It's not fun. It just makes it's like amplifying worry. So this is like a great time to again see where everything is not in alignment, not perfect, not the way you like it, and to start experimenting and trying new things. And like, yeah, it's a little bit mundane because you're kind of like, I mean, trust me, you can still have fun, Sag. I'm not saying you won't have fun. Like, if anything for you, this will show you how to make your routine more fun by cleaning up the dirt, by sobering up and like, look, I'm not calling you an addict, but like, sober up, see the dirt, clean it up, and then go play. It's like you just have to take care of things in the sixth. Whether it's being of service to people, whether it's taking care of a pet, like there's just these little duties. Like the 10th house is big duties, like career and stuff. Like the 6th house is like these little duties that just got to get done. If you don't take the trash out, your whole house is going to smell. Like, so take the trash out, like, and it just feels like it's a lot of little things that kind of like keep you busy and maybe away from something that you really want to do. But every time you take care of something, you're purifying something. And look, you could also be a well-oiled machine here and like just knock projects out and pay so much attention to the right kind of detail that you start to amplify some really positive things on a daily routine, on just a schedule basis, And sometimes Jupiter just wants to like take you off the schedule a little bit. So it's a little bit of both. And Pluto's in the third too, so it's such a mental time for you. Like that's high stress. I mean, again, Jupiter can amplify stress in the sixth as well. So like just do the little things that de-stress you too. Like make sure you're just taking care of yourself, like physically, mentally. You gotta kind of just figure out a way to see things exactly as they are and then not lose your cool and just deal with it. Like just deal with it. Just deal with it. It's probably small, and it's something I feel like with Pluto in the third that wants to really feel like it's a big, big, big deal. And I feel like that's the next year. Like these little things are going to seem like they're this huge deal, and you're going to try and understand them. And oh my God, go into these rabbit holes and judge this and judge that. If I don't do this, it won't be good. If I don't. Just try not to do that. Just see things as they are and then put a little bit of the effort in. Clean it up. And you'll be good. And you'll have the freedom that you want. But Jupiter's going to be like, there's little tasks and stuff, and like probably around your house too, and family, Saturn in your fourth, and then South Node in the 12th. Like you can't ignore or just bypass whether it's health stuff, whether it's taking care of mental health stuff, whatever these little day-to-day activities are. Like maybe it's like take some vitamins. This is like find a daily ritual that you feel like is bringing abundance into your life, and this is like the time to stay on it. And it's probably it's different than what you've been doing. So little tweaks will make a huge difference. Pay attention to detail, but do not lose yourself. Like you'll lose yourself if you pay so much attention that you can't take a step back and be like, okay, I have to do something about it. I can't just mentally sit here. Nothing will get done. And you'll feel bleh. Yeah, 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 yeah. All right, Cap. You got Jupiter in the fifth. That's nice. It's like amplifying like a lot of creative potential in your life. A lot of like ability to shine, to show yourself, to be seen, to not hold back. You know, a really true expression of you. It's also the house of romance, love, children. This could be a time where Capricorns are having more fun. Believe it or not, like it's almost like Capricorns finally get to have fun. Like Saturn in their third, their ruling planet will be like, no, you talk yourself out of it, you know. But Jupiter's trying to say, look, go have a good time, experience life, laugh, you know, be jovial, find happiness. Like the more you can create happiness in your life, Capricorn, the more you'll accomplish. Like it just, you have to have fun now. you, if you don't, you'll be just way too bah humbug for anyone's own good and your own, you know, good. And it's a time where I think Capricorns are going to be like, you know, again, really focusing on themselves, but in a way that hopefully is just bringing more love into their life and a self-love and being able to, you know, give love. So Capricorns are like expanding how much love they can give by learning how to give themselves more love. And they have to focus like on themselves to do that. So it's bringing more value to, I think, any kind of anything a Capricorn loves is going to get like a value amplifier. And if you don't love something, well, this is a good time to figure out why you have no loves in your life and to start putting, you know, your creative energy into something you are really into. Like if you're not into it, stop. If you're not into it, it doesn't feel like it provides value in your life right now, you're not going to be happy doing it. Jupiter will show you also in the fifth house where you're not happy. You know, it'll be like, hey, you know, you'd be a lot happier if you did this. And that's something you want to pay attention to. But I mean, I think anything creative right now, whether it's getting on stage, whether it's performing, whether it's art, singing, dancing, moving, laughing, whatever it is, like this is Capricorn's chance to kind of like let free and to not restrict themselves, but just to 100% show themselves. And that's where Jupiter will bring the benefit and bring love and happiness and joy and, you know, children. You know, if you're a Capricorn parent, Jupiter in the fifth will bring a lot of kid stuff. Kid might go into sports, you might go to a lot of games, you know, maybe you already do that, but maybe they go up to the next tier and it's like a really big part. Like it's games. Like the fifth house is more games. Whether it's with a kid or just for yourself, it's more fun. It's more like physical activity. It's like getting out and doing something with Jupiter there, something fun. So it's almost like Jupiter at this point, like it's like, okay, Capricorn, you're gonna take a vacation and have some fun this summer. The North Node's there. Just how can you make your life more fun? And you know, I think dial up structure and routine and whatever you got to do to like provide more fun into your life. And the squares to Pluto in the second are like, oh, I would really like to have fun, but that's going to cost me money. And this is like, so we can get stuck on like value as Capricorns and be like, oh, I can't go have fun because I don't have the money for it, or I don't want to spend the money. I want to hoard my money right now. I want to keep it. And yeah, I mean, I'll just have fun. Let's go, you know, watch a movie. Like, I don't know. So it could be that also Capricorns are going to have to, I think, embrace the transformation and be more confident. And I think it is about showing themselves. Like if Capricorns don't, if you just hide in like a safety bubble, like Bubble Boy, then you're not like kind of taking the risk and gambling for something just like wild and fun and freeing. Like this is like Capricorns get to like take off Saturn's rings and like go have a good time. But there's almost like there could be like a shyness or like I've never done this before. It's like take the risk and go have a good time. Just do it. This is your year to find out what fun is to you, Capricorn. It's like you're relearning your relationship with fun with Jupiter in the 5th and the North Node finishing. It's like you're finally starting to figure out what fun is again. And I think learning to embrace that and see the quality in it. And to see that, like, it's not fun to just sit around at home at the second house with your things. Like, it's, you know, you got to, like, bring people into the equation too. With Pluto square these nodes, and it's like an important thing. You know? Romance, love. Like, this is where Capricorns might, you know, just fully fall in love. You know? All of a sudden Capricorns are going to be these, like, just romance gurus. With Pluto in the 5th. But I think it's showing them more about how to show themselves in that kind of way, to be more giving of their love. And I think to believe in love more. So, like, different philosophies around the way they see themselves and identify with themselves and their creative, you know, self-expression. That's the transformation. And yeah, don't worry about what people think. Like, go have a good time. This is like, honestly, like, Capricorns need to go sing karaoke, get on stage and dance. I don't know, whatever it is that you're scared to do because you don't want people to see you or judge you, or, oh, it'll take away my status or something. Like, don't. Just go do what you know will be fun for you. There's going to be a bunch of other BS that goes on in the astrology for all of us this year. Like, at least for you, it's 5th house. Like, just use the fun and the 5th house energy that you get right now. You know? And you can't hide. Thank you, Holly. Appreciate the super chat. Yeah, this is crazy, Capricorn. I'm like looking at this, like, just like, geez, it's finally Jupiter. It's finally Jupiter in your 5th. Don't you dare bah humbug this one. Or I'm too busy. South Node's about to come into your 10th. I'm way too focused on my career and making money. I can't possibly have love or fun or happiness. Oh my God. Don't you dare. All right. I would pay big bucks to watch Cappies get silly too. I'm one myself. Like, trust me, I'm like, oh, I can be a little reserved sometimes. I'm like looking at that like, shit, I need to do something. I need to fucking do something crazy. Just be me. But maybe that's what I'm going to start doing more on this channel. I don't know. All right, Aquarius. 4th house, Jupiter. Well, Jupiter in the 4th doesn't suck. It's actually a pretty good spot. Because if you think about it, Jupiter has exaltation in Cancer, and Cancer's very 4th house. So Jupiter usually, very often for people when it goes to the 4th, it brings some kind of amplification to home. Whether it's buying a home, renovating a home, adding on a new addition to the family. You can see like children get birthed with Jupiter in the 4th too, because it is expanding the family. So there's a lot of like really good qualities, but a lot of it is like the stuff that you do in your personal life, the stuff that you do at home. Emotion will get amplified, like feelings will get amplified. Possibly a need to feel secure might be where you go off on the journey to, you know, a new home to find that. But it's good. I think it really helps people too in the 4th. It helps people really believe in themselves at a very like deep level. You know, at a level that nobody sees. It's just you. It's just you and you in the 4th house. It's a very deep level that it's just you. And you start to believe in yourself. And you start to feel good about yourself. And feel very secure. And it can amplify insecurities at the same token. Especially with Pluto that's right there, like messing around, you know, in Aquarius for the first time in your life, in your 1st house. Part of this could be this transformation that you're just going through within yourself, and you're having to like learn how to nurture and take care of yourself and believe in yourself. And, wounds can be getting amplified, or insecurities can be getting amplified. And all this is to help you build this like big, strong foundation. And that's like the spiritual shit, right? That's the spiritual stuff, like this deep, connection that you're solid and good from the inside out. And to feel secure, like that's fourth house too. It's like second house is very secure. So you're always home base, even if you're moving or something's changing. So, Jupiter's like expanding change deep within and initiating something within you. I think a lot of it's about confidence, self-security. That's the good stuff, the spiritual stuff. On the outside, it'll look like, oh, yeah, we need to renovate, we need to get a new home, family. A lot of personal life stuff will get amplified. A lot of chill out time too, like Jupiter wants to chill out in the fourth house. So like it's just, you're going to want to put your focus into home base, into the foundation. If you don't own a home, again, it doesn't really matter. If you're not part of a family, like you're always your home base. So it's putting more belief and wisdom into you on the deepest scale. And to feel positive and to feel good. And that's what always happens at the end. You get a new home, you feel good. You add on, new family, boom, feel good. It's just add-ons. It's add-ons to the base. And it's making sure, and it'll amplify, where the base is not good. And it'll amplify emotion. Like it is a very emotional transit. But that's like if you move into a new home, like and you already had a family, right? Like it's emotional. You don't want to leave the house that you raised a family in to go to a new one. They were kids there. There's memories. There's nostalgia. So Jupiter will amplify sort of the past and nostalgia at the same time here, but it's trying to push you forward into always feeling at home, always feeling secure, and that deep belief that you are. And then to create new journeys and new visions and, Jupiter, I like Jupiter in the fourth. I feel like it does try to, it's just more abundance from the inside. It's not so much like, sure, a house can feel abundant, but it's just like the inner feeling of more. So how do you really believe and feel like you have more? Always. And then you will. And you'll take the necessary steps to create that comfort that you believe you deserve and you believe you value. And yeah, I think that, especially, at this time with Pluto where it's at, like, I think that it's just important for Aquarius is to realize, like, for one, they're more emotional than they've given themselves credit for. And I think that this will show them, if they haven't already seen, with eclipses last year and, just a lot of energy, North Node there. But it's like you're realizing your emotions help empower who you are now. And they give you a lot of strength. And if you can channel those into a secure foundation, you will always have what you need to build on that foundation, no matter what. Family, career, relationship, friends, it doesn't matter. So Jupiter will show you where there's every crack in the foundation, Aquarius, and it'll show you where it's fortified. And wherever there's a crack, you have to believe that you can fill that and that you can deal with it and handle it to get your foundation strong so you can build up. But yeah, I think Aquariuses are realizing too, there's just something different. And they're just getting a taste. But like, this is, I think, the next year where they're really gonna dial in who they are for this future. And that's potent stuff. So definitely congratulations there. It's all this bottom stuff, like, it's just the south node up here, like, and look, I know Jupiter's gonna be here for a year, we're gonna see stuff all over, but I just feel like this chart for the Ingress is important just as the energy progresses. But it's all about the home, it's all about the family, it's all about your emotions, it's all about home base, and always, paying attention and learning about home base within you. That's where it's at, Aquarius. The rest is going to get figured out once that foundation's shored up. And Jupiter's here to shore up your foundation, so congratulations. This is outstanding. All right, Pisces. Third house, Jupe. Not Jupiter's favorite place to be. A lot of thinking. This amplifies your mind. A lot of thoughts coming in. Speaking. This could definitely be more speaking that comes out for you. You might have to say, more or speak more. Writing will have benefit anytime you can write something down, journal, especially like with Jupiter, because it's very, it can be very channeled. Like writing will unlock some major gifts for Pisces. I think here in the third house. Like, I think it's just going to show Pisces that their mind is larger than life in some way right now, that has so much value and so much potential. It just has to, it does have to get to the point, and it can amplify, so much thought. There could just be so many things running through the head that it can just be extremely overwhelming. Like, again, it's almost like just pick up a pen and start writing, and it'll consolidate. Like, there's something about writing. Like, Jupiter is such a good planet to have for writers and for scribing and certain areas like that with the third house. And you'll have a lot to say. So, don't, say it, speak up, whether you write it down, say it, have conversations. I mean, this is a good time to, relate to people, share what you do know, but also to listen. This is also where, conversation can bring a lot of knowledge, what other people's opinions are, how you take that in. And I think, too, it's you also don't have to just do one thing. I feel try it, enough things that keep you stimulated. This is a time where it's make sure you're stimulated, or the mind will go who knows where to Jupiter. And, that can be a great time, but it can also be not the trip you wanted to go on. A lot of the abundance, too, is in the community. It's in what's around you. So, same with Jupiter coming into the fourth, could be a new house. Jupiter in the third can change up your community a little bit. Change up your connections, who you're around every day. The gift is the adaptability, always being able to make the change, but it has to go through your beliefs a little bit, and just use both right and left brain. Know when to get the facts straight, get things dialed in, make sure that everything makes sense, and then know when to take it to the next level, where you can start to believe in more of an abstract way that everything can be. But again, it's writing. Gosh, any Pisces that starts writing, they're gonna have some profound stuff come out. Whether it's just for themselves or something they share with the world, it doesn't really matter, but it'll be profound in their life. And I think, too, just the ability to communicate wisdom, to take in wisdom, listen to it, it's going to be so, that's what Jupiter really does want to teach in the third house. It's a great teacher placement. Because it can take that wisdom and put it into, direct conversation. So by the end, too, Pisces are going to be communicating at a much higher level, a much more grounded level. Knowing how to, when to talk and when to listen, because Jupiter could be overbearing. So that's one thing too, is Pisces could be just so into conversation, just want to talk for this. By the end, it's you also learn when to talk, and when to sit back and let's see what you got. It wants to also, I think, learn from the other. Can amplify your twin. Pisces, if you got a twin inside you that is your other half, that's a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs in the brain, I'm just kidding, but it could bring out that twin-like energy. Also siblings. If you do have siblings, Jupiter will bring something, it could be just more time with them, more quality, learn something, something usually good with siblings with Jupiter in the third. I don't have siblings. I'm not a Pisces either, but some of us are. They don't have those, so sometimes I forget to mention that because I'm an only child. I mean, other than that, it's just like a lot of mental. And I think sometimes Pisces are into that and sometimes they're not. So you do have to kind of know when to throttle back at the same time and not get too consumed with your mind. That's kind of the square to the third house, or from Pluto. That I think, if there's too much amplification of just chatter in your head, constant wheels turning, the hamster wheel again. I mean, this is like where major anxieties happen. That 12th third house square. So that's like something to pay attention to. Like, you have to know when to just go into Pisces mode. Go into your intuition. Stop trying to make things perfect. Stop trying to make everything make sense. Like, Jupiter can want to say so much in the third that it doesn't even make sense. It's talking like it has so much that it can want to say or express, or because the wheels are just amplified. Like, things are it's just an overactive mind, really. That you'll start talking to yourself and lose it. No, I'm just kidding, but you have to learn that it's like okay to, escape your mind, right? Like, meditate, chill out, watch a movie, something that takes your mind off just whatever it's going, it's just a lot. It's just a lot. And it's like the third house is like all these little things close by. It could be car, so it's like little things about a car. Maybe the car doesn't make it anymore. It's like, oh God, how am I gonna, like, you just have to take a moment to remember to chill, to receive, quiet the mind, and then start it back up again. And when you do take that moment to yourself and like are not just just on the just major networking, talking, communicating, learning, expressing, teaching, reading, writing, like just so many things that keep our mind so stimulated, you'll realize when you do take that break that everything starts to make more sense, and Jupiter will be able to consolidate it all better once you do. And I think that's important for you. But this is a great opportunity, I think, to again, with the South Node in your ninth, don't be so dogmatic about something. Don't be so, this is the way. Like, have your way, have your beliefs, and communicate these things. But just remember, it's like, this is a great time to listen, to learn, write things down, take, information in. If there's something that you want to like really put your mind to and learn and take effort and put in effort to learn, this is this is where you can just suck in. You're going to be a sponge. So your mind's growing. Like, that's the benefit. Like, Jupiter does expand your mind in the third house, and your vocabulary will expand. But in the beginning, it's just like, it can be a little much. So I think it's just learning to control the consumption of what you're, to know your mental capacity and to take breaks, tune out, and, do Piscean stuff, watch movies, listen to music, dream, meditate, fantasize. Don't forget to fantasize. Like, you can get so kind of stuck here, and even Venus is going to retrograde in your sixth. Like, gosh, Pisces are almost like feeling like they're going to be trapped in the Matrix here. Don't forget to be a Pisces. That's going to be the trick too, and to not let to not like feel bad or anything. Saturn in the first, like, I can't be a Pisces right now. You gotta be on it, make things happen, and you will, and you are. And this is your time to learn and express and share and talk, but you can't do it all the time, or eventually people are going to be like, can you just stop preaching to me? Like, I don't want to talk. So remember, like, take your breaks. Turn the mind off every now and then. But, yeah. Yeah. Well, hope you all enjoyed. that. I appreciate that, Libran Key. Thank you so much. What's going on in the chat? Oh, Lolo. Been taking care of your sister, love her. Yeah, yeah. If you're a Pisces and like sibling stuff will be good. Like that's where like sibling relationships, like you'll start to really see the benefit of like why you have a sibling and like what they've taught you, and like it's really, it can bring a lot of just abundance to that relationship. Oh, seems like everybody enjoyed. Awesome. Well, on that note, I don't really have much else to say. Unless anybody has a question. Nope. No questions. All right. Well, I hope this was helpful to anybody who watches. I appreciate everybody joining me in the live. It's always cool to see, 80 plus people watching. It's very nice. So thank you all. And to anybody who catches this later, I appreciate your time for watching. Next week, Monday, we start the study group. So if you want to check it out, there's a link below. That's going to be sweet. I'm looking forward to that. Sharing what I know about all sorts of astrology and learning from people who might have that in their chart too. So, yep, next Monday, 22nd. Check that out. My Aries rising is 16 degrees. I feel positive about Jupiter and Taurus too. It's good. We'll be stoked. It'll be disposited by Venus, which is nice. And I mean, the South Node will be in Libra. Look, I'm stoked about it. I'm not going to go into all that right now. I'll go into that later. But there's just a lot. There's just always a lot. There's just a lot of layers. A lot of layers. But yes, Jupiter and Taurus is bomb. It is. This is like fueling up our tank to know that you can create life, that you're a master builder, right? This is like the belief in yourself that helps you manifest. It's bomb. All right. Love you all. Have a beautiful, what is it? Wednesday night? Tuesday night? Beautiful Tuesday night. I'll catch you all next time. Peace.